If you have landed in this video, then either you are a non-technical founder or a non-technical person starting up a business, or a technical person trying to understand what problems non-technical founders face in their businesses. I am a technical founder working with several technology products for last 15 years. I have worked with hundreds of founders, both technical and non-technical, and helped them create their products. At least 60% of all the founders I have worked with were non-technical, and a lot of their products were immensely successful in the market. After so many years, finally, I have understood the biggest difference between a technical founder and a non-technical founder. And that is, there is hardly any. Hello everyone, I'm Sean from Innofied, and today I'm going to talk about 7 steps that will help the non-technical founders to succeed. But before I go deep into the discussion, I would request you to subscribe to our channel if you are enthusiastic about product design and development, app development, startups, and entrepreneurship. We discuss a lot of problems and solutions in the tech world and how it can solve your business problems. We also send a lot of free giveaways like ebooks, templates, worksheets to our subscribers regularly. Now, it doesn't really matter in the long run whether you are a technical founder or not to make your business a success. In fact, as a tech founder, I have often found myself and most other technical founders getting too much involved in the technical aspects of a product and not giving enough importance to other aspects of the business like marketing, sales channels, public relationship, etc. I have seen huge failures only because the tech founders kept working on the products, trying to make it a perfect one, and eventually drying up all the investments they had. This sometimes makes me wonder if being a non-technical founder better for a tech product company. There is not a clear answer. Over the years, I have found out a set of areas a non-technical founder can contribute greatly without being bothered about the technical parts of the product. If you are a non-technical person, keep a note of these and focus more on these aspects to achieve greater success. Step number 1. The mindset is most important. You must understand that the technical person needs you as much as you need them. But what do they need from you? You are the ideas man, the guy with all the answers, because you cannot sleep most nights due to your constantly racing mind on how to solve the next puzzle piece in your elaborate plan. The person that can do that is not only invaluable but irreplaceable. It rubs off on people. You will create excitement with the people you talk to and interview, and they will become incredibly loyal because they believe in you and your vision. I honestly feel that a lot of people struggle to find a technical co-founder because they are lazy. They think they can put some initial thought into an idea, pass it to a tech guy, and poof, they have a product. Very few people can solve problems and think like a true visionary. Your technical co-founder or CTO needs your ideas and thought processes as much you need them to help execute it. When you realize that and can portray that attitude, it will be a lot easier finding the right one. You see the future, you see how you can help people, and because of this, you cannot sleep. Often a designer or developer specialist does not see the big picture like you do because they are too much focused on syntax and strokes. Step number 2. Find a problem worth solving. The trickiest part is to find a problem worth solving and then coming up the right way to do it. As Paul Graham said, the very best startup ideas tend to have 3 things in common. They are something the founders themselves want, that they can build, and that few others realize are worth doing. Find something that's missing in your own life and supply the need, no matter how specific to you it seems. Steve Wozniak built himself a computer who knew so many other people would want them. Step number 3. Get a tech guy. Like any successful startup, it's all about the team, says entrepreneur and venture capitalist Russell Buckley. Non-technical founders need a CTO or at least a technical consultant they can trust entirely, and who is prepared and able to explain in layman's terms what needs to be done. Buckley, who has a marketing background, learned this firsthand when he successfully grew a mobile advertising company which was acquired by Google. Learn from each other. Great CTOs are not just good at writing smart code. They are great because they have commercial acumen and understand why what they are building helps the customer. Discuss your business goals with your developers. They will learn about the business and you will learn about how they think about solving problems. Andy Harris-Rizzuto, the CEO of Revitor, a visual search engine, has a marketing background. She says it is just as important to have a non-technical founder. There are people who are really good at translating what solution you are trying to build into what problem you are trying to solve, and vice versa. You need both. You need a creative tension between two things. So you must understand that the concepts matter more, skills don't. Step number 4, enhance your skills. As a non-technical founder, your greatest state is your ability to generate creative ideas. Having a contagious passion, ability to hustle and dedication for the vision comes way before any hard skill. Brian Chesky, founder of Airbnb, said, "As CEO, I am the captain of the ship. I have two jobs. The first job is I have to worry about anything that can sink the ship. Beyond that, I have to focus on 2 or 3 areas that I am deeply passionate about." The 3 areas he picked were product, brand, and culture. You need to believe that you can keep your ship sailing with the skills that you have and can acquire. That belief will determine everything. There are a lot of skills that are crucial for a founder other than technology. Pick your strength and play with them while you learn other things by reading actively and networking with smart people. Step number 5, be on the top of things. Do not sit back when the product creation process is going on and wait for the development to finish. Ask your technology partner or your tech team to show you functional software. Download and demo your product every 2 weeks minimum, and ideally every week. There are technologies that enable you to see the changes being made by the developer remotely in real time. Get a version of it on your phone and play with the features as the app is being built. Don't wait until the beta release is ready. Correct if a feature has been implemented incorrectly and continue to take feedback from the users and suggest any modification if needed. Catching an error just 1 week versus 3-4 weeks into the build will save money, time, and a lot of rework. Take charge and be one step ahead always. Step number 6, start getting users. Start building an audience for your product by writing actively about it on multiple publishing channels, your product website, blog, or on social media. Talk about your vision, share your learnings, and build some excitement around the product. Engage with people who might be interested in testing the product for you and giving genuine feedback. A simple way to do it is to set up a landing page with a simple deliverable, like an ebook or an exclusive pass when they sign up for beta testing. Run a Facebook ad to the relevant audience to start generating a small list of beta users. Consider signing up for beta list, shipped by Product Hunt and other pre-launch websites. Finally, last point, network well. The strength of an entrepreneur is reflected in the strength of his or her network. While technical people can build or design on their own, an entrepreneur needs to find the right people. Often an entrepreneur is the one that needs the project together. He finds the right people to put in the right seat on the right bus. Josh Chandler, a young UK-based entrepreneur, said a strong network is critical to the success of a young entrepreneur. In his article, How Young Entrepreneurs Can Build a Thriving Business Network, he said, "As a young entrepreneur, I know there are 2 factors which have made a huge difference to my success. They are determination and have a great business network." As a non-technical founder, you may believe that it would be so much easier if you were able to build the product yourself. But there are plenty of non-technical entrepreneurs, now billionaires, who did not lift a finger to build. Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn, studied philosophy, but jumped into entrepreneurship to best influence the world. His net worth is estimated to be $4.7 billion. Richard Branson, serial entrepreneur and founder of Virgin brand, had dyslexia and performed poorly academically. His first business venture was the high school music magazine Student, which experienced overnight success. Branson lives on his own island and is valued at 4.9 billion USD. Whether you have a background in philosophy or media, it doesn't require a technical or academically prestigious background to be successful as an entrepreneur. Branson and Hoffman will be the first to tell you that people are key to capitalizing on any opportunity. Being a non-technical founder can give you a fresh perspective, a competitive advantage when innovation in an industry is lacking. An integral part of entrepreneurship is discovering what unique value and perspective you bring to the table. As a non-technical founder, your perspective is more likely to match that of your customer. Take inspiration from the non-technical founders. You have Larry Page and Sergey Brin from Google, Reed Hastings from Netflix, and Jeff Bezos from Amazon. They managed without their techie founders. With a deeper understanding of their needs, you can be more successful in fixing the current problem they face. That is your doorway to being a non-technical successful entrepreneur. So if you are a non-technical founder and if you know any other steps to ensure success other than the ones I listed here, please let us know. Tell us what worked for you and what didn't, and I will try to provide you with my thoughts on it. Please share your ideas with me and with our audience in the comment section. Please share this video with any of your friends or colleagues who are either an entrepreneur or in the process of becoming one. This video might help them to succeed faster. If you are an entrepreneur, startup, businessman, or someone associated with the tech industry, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We discuss a lot about the problems startups and entrepreneurs face and what are the best ways to deal with them. Please like and share this video and spread the message. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you soon.